Hi everyone, thanks for watching. This is Stephen with iFoundAgent. Today I'm going to be showing you how to import context into your iFoundAgent database. Before I do that, I want to make sure I make something clear. There's a lot of, eh, I understand why you would want to import context into the CRM. Having your contacts in here makes it easier to send campaigns in the future because the campaign builder when you go to select the contact will like autocomplete and already have their information in. Kind of saves you a step later. But I will say I want to make an argument first for adding the contacts on the fly in the campaign builder and not importing. Um, if you have a separate list of clients on a separate spreadsheet or in a separate system, it actually might be easier to add them one by one. Just using the add contact button right in the campaign builder because and as you can see, you have the interface to add their first name and last name and email address, whatever information I want to have, and I hit save. Once I do that, not only does it create a contact for me, but it lines me up that I'm going to go ahead and just set them up with a search right here and now. So the point of our tool, our marketing platform, is that we want you to start sending listings to your clients, whether they're new clients, old clients, ones that are looking to transact or ones that aren't going to transact for another 10 years. Everybody in your database, anybody that you know an email address for and know which area in the market they may be interested in knowing about what's happening in the real estate market, they should be set up on a search. And so if you import your contacts, that does help, right? Because once they're imported, we can find them. I can just start typing, and here's my Billy, or my contacts. Here's Bill. Here's my Billy contact. I have, it makes it easier process flow here, but the downside is that you don't know which clients you've set up for a campaign or not. It's hard to tell. So if you bring them in one at a time, set them up on a search, you know everybody in your contact database is already set up on a search. So, okay, I've gotten that out of the way. That's my own issues. So thanks for for playing on that one. Either way, if you've logged into your website to start importing contacts, you go over to the iFound CRM settings, and under that drop down, there's a CRM import option. Another warning here is that this is not really for the faint of heart. This can be a little technically challenged. We do have a way of importing contacts. It's not so easy. If you've just converted your site over, or if you're a new client with us, we do offer that we'll import the first couple hundred contacts in for free. You can contact us or email me support@ifoundagent.com to help you with that. Um, but beyond that, we may need to charge because it is a little labor intensive to import, as you're going to see in this video. So in the import contact screen, there's a delimiter option. A delimiter is basically what signal tells us like what breaks up our information. If you've ever looked at an Excel spreadsheet, you know that, and I'm going to actually pull up an example. I've made a test CSV file for this training. You've seen an Excel spreadsheet and it shows first name, last name, email, different cells. We have a header column and then we have the information, and they're all separated nicely in a spreadsheet program with these cells, what they're called. But behind the scenes, like in a CSV file specifically, that information this information is being separated by a comma. A CSV actually stands for comma separated values. There's different types of ways of separating this information, so we give you the option on the interface. I'm going to just show you under the hood here, open with my notepad. You can see first name, comma, last name, comma, email. That comma is the delimiter. That's what tells the spreadsheet program, hey, this is the separation between my data. So on the import screen, let me close this one. On the import screen, it's asking what's separating your data. Is it a comma? Is it a semicolon? Is it a pipe? These are all pretty common formats. We do have a special one for LineDesk, and I'll go over importing from LineDesk in a separate video. All right, so whatever CRM system you're using, or whatever system you have your clients in, chances are you can export with a CSV, a comma separated value. So if you've done that, if you've done an export for a CSV, then I just recommend you save it somewhere on your computer, and then you locate it on your wherever you saved it. For this instance, I saved this one on my desktop. So here it is. And I can, so the next step is to open it with a notepad or text editor. So I'm using Windows. Windows comes in, I have an option if I go to open with Notepad. Um, it's just a generic text editor. I don't know what the one is called in Mac. I'm not a Mac guy myself, but it is definitely possible. So in Notepad, I can see my fields separated by comma. It all looks good. This is the information I'm going to want. One thing to note here is that if you're going to do more than 200 contacts, it may be too much for the system. So let's pretend for just a moment here that I had a whole bunch of contacts in here, right? One way to check that is if you're not sure how many records you have in here, you can actually just click on it, and at the bottom of Notepad it does tell me line 12, column 42, where my cursor is. Line 12 means that's the 12th line, so minus the header here, that's like the 11th contact I have. So if I click around, so if you can imagine, if I just had pages and pages and pages of information here, I don't know how many there are. I can just scroll to the bottom, click on it, and this is line 90. Okay, I have 90 contacts, that's plenty. Again, 200 is the play it safe limit. If you don't see this little, what's called the status bar, if you go under View, Status Bar, it kind of comes and goes. So that's just a quick tool for you using this notepad in Windows. Actually, I don't need to save this, so I'm going to just not save it. All right, so you've saved it to your desktop or wherever you're going to save it. You've located it. Now you got to open it up in a notepad software. You want to make sure you don't have more than 200 in here. If you do have more than 200, you have to manually kind of copy and paste and break it up. So maybe copy out the first 200 and save it somewhere, and copy the next 200 and save it somewhere. As I said, this process is not really for the faint of heart. I'm just going to assume that you have less than 200 contacts in here. So then what you're going to do is you're just going to copy the entire contents. So I'm just going to hit Control A, or if I hit Edit and select All, same thing. And then I can hit Edit and Copy. So I'm going to copy this information, and I'm going to bring it and drop it right into this big box. Paste your contacts here. There it is. Okay. So the system knows that the fields are separated or delimited by a comma, which is correct. That's good. Okay, now it's asking what fields are we bringing in. So if you can see here, this is essentially this is kind of how we map the fields. So the first field is first name. So this first drop down needs to say first. That's what we call it inside the system. So, but I have more than one field. I have a last name and an email that I'm bringing over too. So I can go ahead and click plus. And now for the second field, maybe last name. All right. And then for the third field, I'm using email. Right. Okay, so you have a CSV file that you're bringing from whatever system, right? That system, CRM or whatever system you got that thing from, it may have a field that we don't use and we don't really even need. So maybe it says something like, what's their favorite color, right? And Steven's favorite color is blue. Well, I don't really need blue. I don't need the favorite color inside the CRM, nor do I have a place for it inside of this database. So if I do have a field that I don't want to import, I click it and I say blank. So blank means just skip over this one, we don't care. So if the next one after favorite color happens to say something like birthday, and it's 6/14 for Steven, well then I do want to bring my birthday field in. So now I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields, and I've mapped the first 4 up to blank. Now I need to add my birthday field. There it is. And so now this will import first, last, email, blank, because we don't care about that, favorite color, and then birthday. And it's all separated by commas. So that's how that works. I will say you want to make sure you don't have any trailing spaces down here. And what I mean to say is, like, if you have a lot of enters down here, you're going to want to delete all these because this system will try to import blank contacts. And then your header row, once you've done your mapping, I do recommend copying it in here, but once you're done mapping, before you import, go ahead and just delete this, because otherwise you're going to have a contact that's name is first, last name is last, and email is email, and so on and so forth. So it will import that header row as a contact at this time. So I know that we are working on improving this feature, but as it stands, this is what we do. And again, you want to make sure you don't have more than 200 contacts in this field. So there's a few different ways to check that. I've shown you one, and then that's how you do it. So once you're all done there, you just hit this import button and you wait. And you're just going to see the screen refresh. There's not a lot of user interface saying, hey, we did it, hey, it's done. From there, you would just go and check your contacts to see if it was done. And then you can look down and resort this list by date. And my newest contact was just published a minute ago, and that was Stephen Gravitt. Here I am. And you can see if I open up my contact, here's my first name, here's my last name, here's my email address as planned. My birth date I put in as 6/14. And my favorite color is not in here because I chose that field as blank, so that one was not included. Couple things to note is if the email address is duplicated, it will not import properly, so it just will skip it. And let's say you did an import and you did that mapping thing incorrectly. I recommend going back in your contacts and resorting the list as to the most recently imported, and delete all the ones that you didn't mean to import. So let's say I did this incorrectly. I could just go and trash it by clicking this button, or just click. If there's multiples, I can click on multiples. Like here's a couple junk, and I can, under this bulk actions, I can move that to say move to trash and hit apply. So these get moved into a trash bin. If you can see, there's different categories of different statuses. You can see trash is in here, and if I wanted to empty the trash, I could do so. And in fact, I would need to empty the trash before I can try to import this person again. But with these, actually, I'm going to restore them because I don't actually need them in trash, so they're good to go. So that's how you do that. All right, well, thank you for watching. Again, we will import up to 200 contacts for you for free with the new system. If you have more contacts than that, let us know. We charge something nominal just for our time. We have a little more practice at this, so it doesn't take us quite as long as it would you. But it still takes some time, and it's not necessarily something we cover and support, so we'll probably have to charge you something to import your contacts, depending on the job. So support@ifoundagent.com is where you can email and ask more. Thank you so much for watching. All right.